Hello. Yeah, a very good afternoon, everybody. This is the first day of the presentation of semester first students. And this is the third evening session. And today they are making presentations on the literature written during Chaucer to Restoration era, normally around Renaissance time. Let us have a list of the presenters and the topics on which they are going to make the presentation. Okay, so today first one will be presented by KHUSHI RATHOD, and it will be on poem The Sun Rising by John Donne. So when you see the title or topic, you have to see that colon, semicolon should be near the previous word. It should be near. There should be no space between the word and colon or semicolon. Or here you have put colon and a dash. So poem, there is no need to put a dash. In a way, poem also is unnecessary in this title. You can just say a critical study of The Sun Rising by John Donne. Or even better, you can say that a critical study of John Donne '(S), The Sun Rising. And The Sun Rising should be written in single inverted comma. The Sun Rising should be written in single inverted comma. We are seeing here, death be not proud is written in a similar manner. Single inverted comma is used. Double inverted comma can also be used. The Rover is written in double inverted comma. That can also be used. But at times there is confusion between the quote, which is to be written in double inverted comma. When you are citing anything, when you are putting a quote, then the quote is mentioned in double inverted comma. At that time, there is a chance of confusion whether this double inverted comma, the Rover, is a quote or the title. So to differentiate between that, titles are written in single inverted comma and quotes in double inverted comma. But in title, if you write in double inverted comma, then also it is not problematic. So that KHUSHI, you need to check this, that a critical study or critical analysis of John Donne's '(S), The Sun Rising. And The Sun Rising in single inverted comma. KINJAL's presentation is on Aphra Behn's as the first professional female. That is not proper. '(S) is not required there. Aphra Behn as the first professional female playwright. That is enough. '(S) is unnecessary. Then in the title, main words should be capitalized and connecting words should not be capitalized. For example, there is no need to capitalize T. First professional, that should be capitalized. First also, female also, playwright also. All these words should be capitalized. Female, playwright, they are the key words. So that should be capitalized there. As no need to, the no need to capitalize. So Aphra Behn as the first professional female playwright. Be careful about the capital letters in the title. NANDA poem, again no need to put poem there. What are you going to do with death be not proud? That you have to say. So are you going to make a thematic study, a prosodic study, linguistic study, critical analysis, thematic analysis, what? That you have to write in the title. So what exactly you want to do in this poem? So that you have to put in the title. PALLAVI, supernatural elements and beliefs in the play Macbeth, colon, relevance in today's world. So that colon placement, you have to be very careful. It should be near Macbeth. No space between the word Macbeth, double inverted comma that you have made, colons that you have made, and this colon that you put there. So supernatural elements and beliefs in the capital T is not required. In the play Macbeth, colon, relevance in today's world. Okay, PRIYANSHIBA on utilization of metaphysics to evoke thrill in Macbeth. Okay, so metaphysics, capital M, evoke, capital E, thrill, capital T, Macbeth in single inverted comma. Because you are not talking about character. You are talking about the text. If you are talking about character, no need to put in single inverted comma. So if your presentation is on the character Macbeth, then it is okay. But if it is on tragedy that is Macbeth, or a book that is Macbeth, or a play that is Macbeth, then single inverted comma. And this you have to keep in mind when you write your answers also. When you write an answer on Macbeth, be careful that you are talking about Macbeth the character or Macbeth the play. That should be differentiated in handwritten answers also. RESHMA symbols in the Rover. Symbol, or you can say symbolic study of Aphra Behn's The Rover. The symbolic study of Aphra Behn's The Rover. RIYA will read on Macbeth as a or an Aristotelian concept of tragedy. So that article, proper article should be utilized. Concept C should be capital C. Tragedy T should be capital. SHRUTI, the Rover, colon, the theme of love and lust. Okay. The Rover, after that colon is okay. Then you have to put a space. There should be space after colon. And then you have to say the theme of love and lust. You are putting love and lust in single inverted comma. No need to put that in. It is better to put along with the Rover. That is the title. TRUPTI, the Rover, space, colon, space. Again, I think now you got an idea that the placement of space in between is unnecessary. Gender role and prostitutes point of view. Okay. Point of view, capital P, capital V. UNNATI on Absalom and Achitophel, colon, comparison with other political satires. Okay, so that last, you can still make it better. Comparative study of the political satires with reference to Absalom and Achitophel. That will be one common title that you can make. Or if you want to keep it this, then C capital, P capital, S capital. That your keywords should be capitalized. Yashraj will read on Ricky Bahl's, the modern role. So Ricky Bahl's, I think you want to say, apostrophe S, the modern rover. Okay. So that also what you are trying to do with that you can clarify by putting keyword, analysis, comparing, what kind of study you are doing, critical study. That one or two words can be put in the title. Okay, so let us start with the first one. KHUSHI, you can start with the first presentation. That camera location has been moved. You have to adjust that. You see, it is going out of focus near the logo. So keep that camera nearby the laptop. Let it touch the laptop screen. Bring it near. Bring camera near. Okay. Okay, now it is.
This is my personal information. This is my point. Introduction. Meta means beyond, and physics means physical nature. It was Dryden who first used the word metaphysical in connection with Donne's poetry and wrote, Donne affect the metaphysics. Ever since the word metaphysical has been used for Donne and his followers. Donne is metaphysical not only by virtue of his scholarship but by his deep reflective interest in the experience of which his poetry is the expression. Metaphysical poetry represents the splendid and through amalgamation of intellect and emotion, creative wit and sharp humor so as the accumulation the readers with a new model of poetic excellence. About the John Donne, timeline 1572 to 1631. Born 1572, London, England. Died 31st March 1631, London, England. Occupation, poet, priest and lawyer. Literary movement, metaphysical poetry. Literary period, Renaissance. This is the poem Death Be Not Proud, published 6033. Second, The Flea, published 6033. And third, Ecstasy, published 6033. Now, about the sun rising, written by John Donne. Original name is The Sun Rising, published 6033. Poem divided 3 stanza, total line 30 lines. Each stanza divided 10 lines. First stanza, the speaker says, "Son, why you disturbing his beloved through windows and curtains? You priority first the schoolboys, court huntsmen and farmers. You tell and wake up this." Loves not hours, days, months, not limit of the loves, but schoolboys, huntsmen, and farmers to daily routines. In the first stanza, shortly the speaker has to go at the sun for invention of privacy and declares that love isn't subject to the everyday routines and is certainly no slave to the time. In the second stanza, the poet says to son, "Why you should not strong? I strong. You, I wink and you go, but I am not wink my eyes because my beloved, you wink it. You should to see my beloved you can blinded the shine his her you and then tomorrow you come and tell us tell me in India's and West Indies to peace and mind with me. Third stanza, the bed and the lovers are a microcosm of the universe, according to the speaker, who in the end invites the sun to become a part of the whole. The poem themes love and suppresses time, and second, the portrayal of his beloved. Conclusion, Donne used the sun as a metaphor for the outside world, which he sees an institution of his and his lover's private word of love. He asserts the supremacy of love over all other things and commands the sun to obey his wishes. This is the references. If any question, you tell me.
Okay, so Khushi, my question to you is what is the speaker's attitude towards the sun's role in the relation to privacy in in the text you mentioned?
The speaker, uh, the sun is invaded. The speaker, the sun invaded the relation.
See, my question is, how does the speaker express the nature of love in the context of everyday routines and time?
The speaker assert the love is routine, not beyond not beyond the time. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is KINJAL. I talk about topic in Aphra is professional female playwright. This is my personal information. Points to ponder. Introduction of Aphra. Name Aphra, born 1640, contemporary England, died 16 April 1689, London, England, gender female, literary period restoration, occupation poet, playwright, novelist, genre poetry, prose fiction, drama, and translation. Early life. Very little is known of Behn's early life. She was born in 1640 during the lead up to the English Civil Wars, possibly in contemporary to a barber father and wet nurse mother. Thought in the adulthood she moved in aristocratic courtly circles. Following the narrator's account of her own life in Oronco, 1688, some biographers think Behn traveled with her family to the English colony of Suriname. There she may have met an African slave leader who inspired her to write Oronco, which is regarded as one of the earliest English novels. Writing for the stage. Back in England, Behn returned her attention to writing. Her first few works in the early 16th century were not commercial success. She also wrote novels, poems, literary translations up until her death in 1689 at the age of 49. She is buried in Westminster Abbey, thought not in Poets' Corner. Writing 19 plays in total and probably assisting the composition of several more. It may be one of the most striking ironies of English dramatic history that the first era have women become professional playwrights was also the first to foster a thoroughly privatized closed drama. In the Restoration, when the women establish themselves permanently in the professional theatre, in explicitly and anti-performance female write emerge. Reputation. In her own period, Behn was held to be a considered author, famous as a playwright, propagandist, poet, and pangist, novelist, and translator. The 18th century emphasis on feminism brought a demand that the many women writers now entering the marketplace should write in a feminine style and confine themselves in a modest subject matter. As the century progressed, the Rover had to be modernized for Dickens, and her poems decreased in number in the anthologies of women authors until by 80,000 she was hardly represented. All the first English women know to earn her living by writing. This is her work. The Rover is a famous work of Aphra Behn's. Conclusion. Aphra Behn was a significant influence on 18th century literature and theatre. As the author of one of most popular restoration comedies, she was influenced in British theatre, and as the origin of the powerful Oronco myth, she had a much wider reaching impact. She influenced the men as well as the women who followed her. This is my reference. Thank you. Anybody question? Please ask me.
My question is, Kinjal, did Aphra Behn get as much as reputation she is getting right now?
Aphra Behn's is a Aphra Behn's social and gender challenges, and including inspiring for a future female writer, and contributed on the restoration period. Next.
My question: what was Aphra Behn impact on literature?
Aphra Behn is the first professional female playwright, and she is she was inspiration for women, that how can women rise their voice.
This banner needs to be changed. This is afternoon. Evening banner will be there. In StreamYard, we have to change. And by the time he changes the banner, this KHUSHI and KINJAL, both of you needs to improve, work hard. You have to improve your speaking also, and answers also you are still not able to give properly. So do rehearsal, speak. The PPTs that you have prepared, 2-3 times speak, record your voice in the mobile, listen your voice. Otherwise, there is no chance that your speech can be improved. So now you have to work on your speech. These are only 2 years for the academics. Then you will never get a chance to improve your speech. So speak a lot in English language. That is, and loudly speak all this thing. Then you will be able to give practice to your tongue to speak English language. Yes, next.
Hello everyone, my name is CHAVDA Nanda. This is my personal information that you can see here. And my topic name is poem Death Be Not Proud. Table of contents about the poem and poem analysis, themes and conclusion. Now let us see about the poet about John Donne. He's born in between 24 January and 19 June 1572. His birthplace London, England. He's died 31 March 1631. Nationality English. Genre is satire, love poetry, elegy. And his poetry subject is love, death, sexuality, and religious. About this poem, Death Be Not Proud is written by metaphysical poet John Donne, written around 1610 and first published posthumously in 1633. Death Be Not Proud is a 14-line poem, and it's a 14 line is conclude in 8 or 6 line. There is one 8 line is called octave and 6 line called sestet, and it is a holy sonnet. This is the poem. Poem rhyme scheme is AB, BA, ABBA, CD, D, C, and E, E. Now, this is the poem in brief. I give you a brief overview about the poem. The poem here the poem in the poet says that death is death the personifies that death is powerless and weak entity, and the poem says that uh, uh, it is not truly end of the death. It is and the also poet here says is a poem in the to death is it's just a slave or a subservient to chance kings and desperate men. It is not it ultimately convey that message. It is not to the truly end of the life, and it is only just a slave or subservient. And it is the next new life, next greater existence. Death as a slave. John Donne says that death is nothing but merely a slave of these four things of faith, chance, kings, and desperate men. Three places where death lies forever. In this poem, John Donne says that death lies in places forever. These places are like a home for death, where death lies. War, poison, and sickness. Theme of this poem: morality, dreams, plans, hope, religious, and courage. It's also concluded to be a central idea of Bhagavad Gita. According to Bhagavad Gita, give the soul or Atman has properties that weapons cannot pierce, fire cannot burn it, and water cannot moisten it, and wine cannot dry it. Conclusion: John Donne conclude his sonnet saying that need not become proud of this life in one sleep in a sense that it is full of illusion, but that liberty is us from the illusion, and we wake up forever. Donne believes that if that it is accepted with his spirit, there is no death at all the itself bound die. So the here it ultimately convey the message to it is death is not truly the end of the life, but a passage to give a new life. This is my reference.
Why does the poet ask death not be proud?
The poet here in this poem tells the death is weak or powerless, or also says death is also soul over the death. So, death be not proud. It is just a slave or temporary. It's truly not the end of life. Next question.
What does the image of slave suggest?
Here, the image of a slave suggests to the king's chance of fate. It is just a slave. It is nothing truly end of the life. Thank you. Hello everyone. Today I will deal with my name is PALLAVI, and today I will deal with the topic supernatural elements and beliefs in the play Macbeth. Relevance in today's world. These are my personal information. These are the topics which I did deliver into this presentation. So let's first discuss introduction of Macbeth. Macbeth is written by William Shakespeare, and it is written in 1606 in England. And it falls under the category of Shakespearean tragedy. We can also say that it's tragedy. It's first performed in 1606, and we can find the setting of the play is Scotland, England. These are the informations of William Shakespeare. He was born
He was born on 26th April in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, England, and died on 23rd April 1616 in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. We all know that he is the most famous playwright, poet, and actor. William Shakespeare is widely regarded as one of the greatest writers in the English language or literature. He wrote at least 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and 3 long narrative poems. So let's discuss supernatural elements and beliefs in Macbeth. Macbeth is Shakespeare's most supernaturally charged tragedy. The play, when we see the play starts with witches making predictions. Macbeth, as a person, he experiences supernatural events like a phantom dagger and ghost, and we know that he also talked with witches. It's likely a tribute to King James I, who believed in witchcraft. King James led witch hunts and wrote demonology. We can find that Shakespeare wrote lots of his works for the happiness or for the sake of happiness of king. So Macbeth is one of them. England viewed supernatural phenomena as real during that time. These included witches, ghosts, visions, post-mortem bleeding, and possession. These elements are integral to Jacobean culture. We can find in Jacobean culture there are a lot of description of supernatural elements. Witches, prophecies, and Macbeth's transformation. We can find that witches have a supernatural powers. At the beginning, we can find that they planning to obey someone's life or control someone's life. Their prophecies makes Macbeth's ambition. He commits murder to fulfill their predictions. This leads to his downfall. Initial prophecy is Macbeth will become king. We can find that when Macbeth meet these 3 witches, at that time he realized that I will become at once I will become king. So at that time, after that he spark his ambition and he commits several murders. And their prophecies triggers Macbeth's ambitions and actions. Subsequent prophecies intensify his paranoia. Not the initial prophecies, but they made another 2 prophecies, and they do another prophecies made him more greedy. Macbeth becomes cynical and ruthless. The witches' prophecies lead to Macbeth's tragic downfall. So let's discuss phantom dagger. We can see that a phantom dagger means from which dagger he murders King Duncan. It converts for him phantom dagger. Macbeth's phantom dagger initially symbolizes psychological horror. He psychologically disturbed after King Duncan's death. So it transforms into supernatural element. Next, we can see that Banquo's ghost. He kills his best friend Banquo, and the ghost is revealing Macbeth's guilt, and we can find his guiltiness turns into his madness. These are some examples which is relevant in today's time. We can find the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling also depicted this type of supernatural elements and beliefs. And this is one article's screenshot that one in Junagadh, fooled by superstition, relatives make 13-year-old girl put her faith in Yagna fire. And so by this, we can say that in today's time, people are also believe in this type of superstitious. These are conclusions that which is prophecies. We can say that our forbidden knowledge in today's time also plays vital role as the witches prophecies. Banquo's ghost, and we can say that it can also impact in our life, and how we can relevant it. So aspects of human nature, ambition, guilt, and temptation of power, we can relevant in with this. These are some references. Thank you. Now, if you have any questions, please ask.
How does the Macbeth's ambition drive this
His tragic downfall.
Yes, Macbeth's ambition drive. At first, we can see that before he met to these three witches and came across the truth that he will become a king. Before that, he is a normal people like us. But when he knows that he will become a king, so it sparks his ambition and it drives him towards the downfall of his life. Any other questions?
Who's next? Are you good? The question. Hmm? What is that? Ananjanmay? What is that? Hmm?
The question is, do you agree that the witches affect the Macbeth's life? How do the witches' professions affect Macbeth?
Yes, I'm agree with that. Witches' prophecies affect Macbeth's life, and witches' prophecies how first when we came across this first. He sparked his ambitions with first prophecy that he will become king, and after that he committed a sin in a vision of heaven. We can see that he committed a sin that he kills King Duncan, who trust him blindly, and when especially when he is in his sleep mode, that at that time he kills him. And second prophecy, we can find that next by a third prophecy, he also kills his best friend who blindly trust him. So we can find that this prophecy also led his life to tragic end, and we can find this is a hamartia of his life. Thank you.
Today I have sent this message for this purpose only, that your name, your profile picture should be appropriate when it comes here. We are seeing in many still there are no such pictures also. Here you see. So this is again, even the spelling of channel is problematic. So if you
It's
are,
already before the mid, so
but whenever you meet, but you are an English student, no? So spelling should be correct. Whom people will ask when they are in need of correct spelling? They will seek English students. But their spelling is some problematic, then where will they go? So that is what we tell, that you are now not a BA student or anybody who is roaming in the street. You are now MS student. So have dignity of that. In doing everything, your digital avatars should also reflect that these are the students of English department. That difference now you have to start seeing. You are start staying away from your friend circle, where everything, this kind of things might be working very well. Have that dignity now. So start working. Tomorrow we want to see that. So this we are telling from the beginning of our semester. From there, we are telling you our ICT workshop also we told that how you have to keep a profile picture. That is why we had a session also in ICT workshop where we told that how to change name, editing name, profile picture, everything. But most of you have not attended those. That's why you are not understanding why all these things are important. Okay, next.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I am Priyanshi and today I deal with the topic utilization of metaphysics to evoke thrill in Macbeth. This is my personal information. Then first I deal with definition of metaphysics. In short, metaphysics is a branch of philosophy that explores fundamental questions about the nature of reality, existence, and the relationship between the physical and non-physical aspect of the world. Then, connection between metaphysics and literature. The connection between metaphysics and literature lies in the use of metaphysical themes, concepts, and symbolism in literary works to explore deeper questions about human existence, morality, and the nature of reality. Then, the role of the supernatural in Macbeth and how metaphysical elements intensify the plot suspense in Macbeth. In Macbeth, spooky stuff like witches, prophecy, prophecy make story more interesting, and metaphysical elements heighten suspense by making the mystical and unknown central to the story, leaving the audience on edge. Then, explore the concept of fate in Macbeth and his belief in destiny and the metaphysical forces at play. The concept of fate is central as Macbeth believed in destiny influenced by metaphysical forces like witches' prophecies. He interprets their word as driving his action. This belief in fate intensifies the dramatic tension as Macbeth grapples with whether he can change his destiny or is simply a pawn in the metaphysical scheme. Macbeth's mental deterioration, Macbeth's psychological transformation. Macbeth undergoes a profound psychological transformation in Shakespeare's play, shifting from noble, morally conflict character to a guilt-ridden and ruthless tyrant, illustrating the devastating consequence of unchecked ambition and moral compromise. The metaphysical elements intensify the character's descent into madness. The metaphysical elements, such as the witches, prophecies, and supernatural occurrence, intensify Macbeth's descent into madness by fueling his ambitions and his guilt, leading him to make irrational choice and lose touch with reality. Then Macbeth's final showdown. The climactic battle between Macbeth and Macduff. Macbeth and Macduff is a pivotal moment where Macbeth's overconfidence and Macbeth's revelation of being from his mother's home ultimately lead to Macbeth's downfall and death. This showdown symbolizes the triumph of morality over training in the play. How metaphysical elements contribute to the thrilling climax. Metaphysical elements in Macbeth, such as the witches, prophecies, and supernatural elements, contribute to the thrilling climax by setting in the motion the events that lead to ultimate confrontation between Macbeth and Macbeth. Conclusion: the role of metaphysics in Macbeth. Metaphysics in Macbeth encompasses the supernatural, including witches and prophecy. These elements influenced character, proper plot, and symbolize the distortion of the nature order, enhancing the story's depth and intrigue. Metaphysical elements in Macbeth height the thrill and suspense by introducing an otherworldly dimension and a sense of destiny, keeping the audience engaged and on edge as the impact the character and plot. The importance of metaphysics element in literature. Metaphysical elements in literature offer a layer of complexity, addressing theme of supernatural morality and fate, and making story more engaging and provoking the readers. This is work cited. Thank you. Now you ask a question.
So my question is, what literary devices are used to evoke emotions in Macbeth?
In Macbeth, Shakespeare employs the emotions like firstly imagery such as a blood motif, then the interesting feeling of guilt and horror, and then symbolism is a main literary device used to evoke emotions in Macbeth. Then
My question is, how do the witches' proficiency shape Macbeth's actions and build the suspense?
witches and prophecies like supernatural elements, they plant the idea of power to his mind, and leading to his action to fulfill their prophecy. Okay, thank you.
So, good afternoon, all of you. Today I am going to explain the Rover or the Banished Cavaliers by Aphra Behn. In this, I am going to explain the characters. Sorry, not characters, symbols. So, this is my personal information, and this is the table of content in which I am going to explain Carnival, Mask, Angelica's portrait, where I've done spelling mistake, I think so, sword, and conclusion. The first symbol is carnival. Carnival is a festival over here which is celebrated in a huge uh, in a huge way, where the cities like Venice and Naples, over there this festival is celebrated, and there is no any kind of restrictions in this during this festival. And this carnival symbolizes a world of inverted values, and where the noble women can freely wander, means they can roam, and also cavaliers can court them and win their hearts, win their hands. Over here, win their hands means they can propose them. Yet the world of carnival, a world without consequences and with its dark side, means over here they are trying to tell that the world is still without any results, and it is still in a dark side, where it helps both the sides of carnival. The next symbol we have mask, where we can see that specifically they were, like describe here Helena and Florinda, but not Helena and Florinda is using the mask, but all the characters are using a mask in this play, and disguises in order to plan and carry out their various connections. However, mask represents the which represents the confusion of identity over here, and by wearing the mask, they are hiding their true self, means true identity, and mask stands here for deception, uh, which is one kind of trick used here. uh, Characters are as observers behind the mask, so hiding themselves to find others. This is about mask. Next is Angelica's portrait. To show off her beauty, where people can admire and notice her. After falling in love with Wilmore, she stopped doing it. Means the this character Angelica, when she fall in love with Wilmore, she stopped doing it. The portrait represents not only her vanity but also sense of self. The courtesan stops displaying them because she has fully given herself to Wilmore, and so she does not give herself to anyone else. Means because she's uh, fall in love with Wilmore, so she does not give herself to anyone else. At last, she learns a disastrous decision over here. The next symbol we have here, sword. Over here, sword is a symbol which is used to used for fighting in the play. Throughout the Rover, swords are associated with masculinity, virility, and power. Means in this, only the male characters are using this sword. Balil is a true man in part because his skill with his sword. Means Balil over here is a man is true because he's fighting for the uh, purpose for the good purpose. Don Pedro having Spanish blade which is more sharp and long than English. Means he's having a more good sword with him. Wilmore uses a sword way to impress others and symbol of intercourse. So Wilmore is the character who used the sword to impress others, where the tradition shows violence of masculinity, which is been shown by Aphra Behn, the Restoration comedy in the Restoration comedy. This is the conclusion. Like you can see that how easily the symbols have been explained, and you can understand. Here also, I think I have done mistake, like easily in that, and we can see here there are only four symbols: carnival, mask, Angela's portrait, and sword. This is my reference taken from here. Thank you. Now, if anyone is having question, you can ask me.
So my question is, in your opinion, how does the sword symbolize power and conflict in the Rover?
Um, uh, in this play, the symbol rover sword is used for conflict in the rover to fight for the good purpose of oneself. Any other question?
In what way is the carnival a symbol of liberation and chaos into play?
Okay, liberation and chaos. In order, like festivals are having many kind of restriction, but where we can see here, carnival is the festival which is celebrated very nicely in Venice in Italy without any restrictions, and where we can see that the females means like there are specific characters in this, like Wilmore we can see he's proposing the girls, and he's assaulting the girls in this festival. So in this, it is a good order of what we can say, good order of this festival. It has been uh, played. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ria Bhatt, and on the very first day of our presentation, I'm going to deal with the topic Macbeth as a Aristotelian tragedy. Uh, this is my personal information. These are points that I'm going to deal with today. Introduction. As we already know that Macbeth has written so many tragedies like Julius Caesar, King Lear, and we can say that Macbeth, and we can say that the Macbeth is probably his last tragedy, which is written in 1605 to 1607. 1605 to 1606, and probably performed in 1611. This Here I made mistake, that 1623 that I have mentioned. And Macbeth sat in medieval Scotland, and it deals with the themes like ambition, violence, greedy, and selfishness, and also includes internal and external conflicts in particular characters. Here, the biography of Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor, born in Stratford upon Avon, and on 1626 April 1564, and died on 23rd of April 1660 at the age of 58. He wrote nearly 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 3 long narrative poems. Here's the definition of tragedy. Tragedy then is the imitation of an action that is serious and also having magnitude, complete in itself, in language with pleasurable accessories, which kind brought in separately in the part of the work, in a dramatic, not in a narrative form, with incidents arising pity and fear, wherewith the accomplish its catharsis of such emotions. This is the statement by Aristotle in his book Poetics. By this statement, we can say that the hamartia of tragic heroes, that in Macbeth we see that the point the point of believing Macbeth as a character, Macbeth's character, that how he believes the um, statement which is given by witches, and leads toward his downfall. Also, Lady Macbeth's word to him and his downfall were that we can say that. Uh, Firstly, we can say that his ambition was fulfilled, but later on that downfall were there, and how he was depressed, and so on. So that is that we find hamartia of tragic hero. Catharsis. We assume that for the finest form of the tragedy, the plot must be not simple but complex, and further, that is, must imitate action, arising pity and fear, since that the distinctive function of this kind of imitation. This is also a statement given by Aristotle, and according to Aristotle, that not always that we have to uh, emotions are not always bad. One should behave as per situation, but have to maintain your emotions. But in the Macbeth we don't find. And we also mention that catharsis is near the word uh, philosophy, philosoph, and the translation of this particular word is friend. Then when we find that Macbeth murder his friend, then the readers are feel the catharsis with the play. the other Shakespeare, other element of Shakespearean tragedy, the hamartia of tragic hero and catharsis are the Aristotelian concept of tragedy. And in the Shakespearean tragedy, we also can find supernatural elements like three witches, and also in the early morning session, Akash select the topic that the fourth witch as Lady Macbeth as a fourth witch. That also conflict between internal and external. That how Lady Macbeth firstly feel the happiness, and later on we find that he later on she is regretting. In a way, the struggle between good and evil, and lack of poetic justice, that we lack of poetic justice, we already know that how Shakespeare's tragedy are firstly beginning in the beginning is perfectly justified, and later on we can suddenly go on climax, and downfall are there. So these are the other Shakespearean tragedy elements of other Shakespearean tragedy. Conclusion. Structure, we might say that Macbeth is a tragedy of Aristotelian standard. The relevance of Aristotle's poetics to Shakespeare's play defines the making of dramatic tragedy, and presents the general principle of the construction of this literary journey. Second, to make Macbeth's complete action according to Aristotle, the story must contain an activating circumstances, uh, discolor, disclosure, and reversal of action. The main aim of tragedy, according to Aristotle, is the catharsis that we find in Macbeth also. These are some references. Okay, thank you. If you guys have any question.
In what ways does Lady Macbeth experience catharsis throughout the play?
Uh, as we already know the story of Macbeth, that how Lady Macbeth encouraged Macbeth to kill the Duncan and become a king of the empire. So in a way we can say that the Lady Macbeth experience of catharsis, and also after taking this decision she is constantly conflicting with herself only. So her experience of catharsis throughout the play that we can find easily while reading the play.
Check if it is done properly or not.
my question is, how does Macbeth?
Uploaded?
So from her,
No, that is not fair. That should not become a system because somebody else's name will come. Photo will be somebody else's.
because this is not.
What's
This is not like you.
What's the problem? What is the problem? If you know the problem, you can solve. Otherwise, every day it will be repeated.
So try once again. So I'll send the question. So my question is, Ria, how does Macbeth elicit catharsis in the audience?
Okay, so as we already know the story, we go through the Macbeth, that we especially find the case of murder of Duncan and Lady Macbeth's madness in a way which creates pity and fear in reader's mind, according to Aristotle's concept of tragedy that we find. This downfall and constantly conflict between inner and external conflict were the element of catharsis are there. Okay, thank you. This is not mine. It's not your. No. Scroll down. Shruti. This one.
Hello everyone, I'm Shruti. I'm gonna present you guys the theme of love and lust in the play Rover by Aphra Behn. This is my personal introduction. Let's talk about Aphra Behn. Aphra Behn seems the prototype of female independence, the first English woman to live by writing, competed with the wits of the Restoration at literature and free. She had 17 plays produced, but is mainly for Orinoco, a novel about a black slave. Back in London, Aphra was imprisoned for date briefly, but by 1670, she had found her career as a dramatist. Let's discuss the theme love and lust. The characters within the rover constantly try to distinguish whether they are feeling love or lust. The line between the two is a blurry one, but an incredibly vital question within the play. In fact, each character can be defined by their attitude towards these two emotions. In general, men prefer lust while women seek out love, but the play complicates matters. The rakish Wilmore uses the ambiguity between love and lust to his advantage, vowing love when he actually only feels physical lust. Uh, Angelica begins the play preferring lust to love and profiting from the lust her beauty inspires, and suffers greatly when she finally succumbs to the second emotion. Helena, for all her boldness, wishes for love rather than lust, and succumbs to Wilmore's advantages only after she is convinced that he loves for her rather than simply lusting. We see that in the play. Helena is the only true lover, and her sister. She is a sister of Florinda, and her cousin is Valeria. For the more emotional traditional Florinda, lust is dangerous, making formerly honorable men threatening and dangerous. The question of the divide these two concepts is important because essentially every action within the rover can be attributed to one of them. Characters are largely helpless against the forces of both love and lust, often act solely based on their emotional and or physical desires. Because of their great power, it becomes even more important to distinguish between the two. Doing so is the only way to truly understand the actions of the characters. About the female true lovers in the rover, Helena, Florinda, and Valeria. These are Helena and Florinda are the sisters, and Valeria is the cousin of them. One of the central storylines involves three young women, Helena, Florinda, and then King's woman Valeria, who use disguises to interact more freely with the English cavaliers currently visiting Naples. English cavaliers are Wilmore and Blunt and Belleville. This plan, spearheaded by Helena, stand is only one of several cunning plots that Helena orchestrates throughout the play. We also notice that Helena disguises the gypsy girl. Uh, she wanted Wilmore to fall in love with her, and we also see that Helena fell in love with Wilmore. Wilmore was playing out of love, but Helena was truly in love with him. To escape the watchful eyes of her brother Don Pedro and her governess Callis, Helena readily employs between clever disguising and cunning wit, not unlike the female rogue figures. And in conclusion, Helena, Florinda, and Valeria enjoy the freedom of carnival, aided in their exploits by the use of various guises and desire to experience love. Behn's text, however, remarkably lacks an elder's presence, while several patriarchal figures mentioned in the play, including the Viceroy, Don Pedro's father, Don Pedro's uncle, Don Vincentio, and exiled son of Charles I. None of these characters actually appears in the play, nor do their wills, desires play any central role. These are my work citation. Thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
My question is, which female characters say deeper emotional connection with Wilmore in the play?
As we see in the presentation, Helena seeks deeper emotional connection with Wilmore in the play. Helena was a true lover, and she doesn't play out of the lust, and that's why she end up falling in love with Wilmore. And Will was only lusting over Angelica and Florinda. Next.
Okay, so my question to you is what kind of play is Rover considered to be?
The play Rover is considered to be as a restoration comedy. As we know, Ephra Behn is the writer in the restoration period. Restoration comedy, as also known as a comedy of manners. As we know, it is a comedy of upper class people and the appearances and the all that matters. Thank you.
So can I start? Okay. So hello everyone. So my topic is the rover, gender roles and prostitutes point of view. So this is my personal details. This is a points to ponder. First one is gender roles and themes. Gender roles reversed a complex triangle of desire in a rover, prostitutes point of view, and in the last there is a conclusion. Gender roles and theme. Traditional gender roles. The rover reflect the conventional gender roles of the time, where women were expected to be chaste, modest, and obedient, while men were often portrayed as assertive and promiscuous. Cross-dressing gender roles are further complicated by cross-dressing in the play. Helena disguises herself as a young man to pursue Wilmore, which allows her to navigate the world of men freely. This blurs the lines between traditional male and female roles, patriarchy and power. Male characters in the play often exhibit patriarchal attitudes and control, reflecting the gender dynamics of the era. However, female characters, especially Florinda, resist the power and assert their independence. Female agency. Benz challenges these traditional roles by depicting female characters with agency. Florinda and Helena, for instance, defy societal expectation by pursuing their romantic interest, and taking an active role in the relationships. Sexual liberation. The play also explores theme of sexual liberation. Wilmore's character epitomizes the libertine who defies traditional gender roles by being promiscuous. This challenges the idea that men should be the ones in control of romantic and sexual encounters. Gender roles reverse a complex triangle of desire in the Rover. For both Helena and Angelica, Wilmore is object of desire. In that case, we can see that Wilmore, she is sorry, he is interested in both women, Angelica and Helena. The reverse occurs: Helena and Angelica, two men seeks Wilmore, a man. The interesting thing about the relationship is that triangle which this relationship form does not point in one direction. In that, we can see that Wilmore infatuated with Angelica also, but he does not accept Angelica because she is a prostitute. While Helena is the kind of the woman that she knows about Wilmore, that he is interesting in other women also. But Helena, a sacrifice is like it's okay, and I am expecting the Wilmore. Here is a prostitute's point of view. Angelica's situation. Wilmore becomes genuinely infatuated with Angelica, which complicates his relationship with other women in the play. Angelica is in love with Wilmore, but Wilmore did not accept Angelica because she is a prostitute. Here I can put a one movie dialogue that is from Gangubai movie. The Gangubai, she is a prostitute and she is giving her opinion, and that her point of view, that how we have to suffer and we have to deal with the society. She speak that all of you sitting here must have some occupation, business, a doctor, an engineer or teacher, or some sell snacks, alcohol, clothes, soap, or utensils. A qualified person sells his intelligence, but we sells our body. We work hard. What's wrong in that? Why only our profession seen as immoral? So that she is trying to that our professions, society have to take it normally, that it is okay, fine, that everyone has doing their job, and this is our work, and we have to do this for money or anything. So, in there is a conclusion. The Rover, we see a subversive of traditional gender roles. Female characters such as Florinda and Helena challenge the norms of the 17th century society. Aphra Behn offers a progressive view in favor of female empowerment and the humanization of prostitutes. It challenges traditional gender roles and depicts women, particularly prostitutes, as a complex and independent individuals capable of making their own choice in matters of love and relationship. Now you can ask me a question.
My question is, how do the male characters' attitudes toward prostitution reflect the broader societal views of the time?
We can see in the play Rover, the all men like expect Bill, Wilmore, Blunt, Frederick, all of are interested in a prostitute in Angelica, but no one wants to accept her because she is a prostitute. Then we can see a Wilmore. Wilmore is infatuated with Angelica, but he is not accepting her because she is a prostitute. And we can see the also Blunt and Clarissa's case. Blunt is in love with Clarissa, but Clarissa does the wrong thing with Blunt.
Means to who you are asking. So you can can be identified. Similar text are there, then it is difficult to say. This also was your question. And this also is there. So to whom you are asking gets confusing. So if you ask like this, at so and so, to whom you are asking.
What strategy do the female characters employ to negative the challenges posed by the patriarchal society in the play?
In the play, we can see that woman Florinda and Helena, they disguise herself because the 17th century society does not accept that woman is like roaming freely. The woman Florinda and Helena, they both want to freedom. So that's why she disguise herself and become a man. She wears men's clothes and change her outer look. And in the female characters employed, we can see the Florinda also decide her own decision that her brother Pedro is choosing a groom for the other, but she choice herself and married with whom she likes, and she married with Belleville. And the Helena, we can see the same, that Helena choose her groom by herself and marries with Wilmore. Okay, thank you.
Very good evening to everyone. Myself, UNNATI BAROLIYA, and today I am dealing with the topic Absalom and Achitophel, comparison with other political satires. Yes, these are my personal informations and objectives which we are going to deal with is we'll go through the information about the poet, central idea, then analyze the political satire from the different time period. Then we'll go through the similarities and differences and approach and themes. uh, we'll go through the first of all the England's first poet laureate, he was John Dryden, and his time duration was from 1631 to 1700. He was a poet, literary critic, translator, and a playwright. The period came to be known in literary circle as Age of Dryden because he seems to be as a dominating literary crisis happening during the era. And a romanticist writer, one of the Walter Scott, called him Glorious John. Central idea of the poem. Um, so a poem has a wit in its satirize and allegorize the political events and figures of his time, particularly the exclusive crisis of the late 17th century in the England. The poem uses biblical characters and stories to symbolize and comment on the political turmoil and power struggle of the era. Biblical characters like David, his rebellious son Absalom, and yes, and then explores the themes of loyalty, betrayal, and consequences of political ambition. Yes, symbolic representation of characters we are taking over here is just to signify that who is playing that which role. King David, which symbolizes King of England, Charles II. Then Absalom, James Scott, Duke of Monmouth. Achitophel symbolizes real life Earl of Shaftesbury. Then Zimri represents the Duke of Buckingham. Shimi stands for Thames Thomas Thine. And Nathan the Wise, a diplomat of David, like Charles II. Yes. Themes. Here we will come across the themes like political allegory, loyalty and betrayal, the role of relationships, satire and wit, divine right of king, religious references, political instability. Yes. First of all, we'll go through the similarities in satirical commentary and historical context. The characters to represent the real life counterparts, just as modern satires often uses. Yes, political satires typically draw on the specific political and social context of their times. They lampoons on the issues and personalities of the era in which they were written. Will then the differences. Absalom and Achitophel was a common form for the satirical work in the 17th century, whereas in common form, what are the audiences like? They might be the one who knows knows to like read or understand or explain the live performance on the stage, or one who knows the poetry. Then, in contrast, modern political satires uses novels, plays, or even television shows and cartoons. Directness and indirectness versus indirectness. Dryden's poem is more allegorical and indirect in its satire. Modern political satires can be more direct and explicit in their critics. Yes, this is a cartoon character, The Simpsons, which symbolizes they at the first it won't seem like they are satirical, signifies satires, but their predictions and they used to they satire on the events that might have happened, that gonna happen in future. And yes, media and audiences. Yes, as I mentioned, that the one who knows the genre or the type of the poems, they are the in Dryden's time the audience for political satire was limited. Modern political satires often reach wider audience because of that tools like we are having internet, social media through that. And targets and themes, the specific targets and issues vary across the time periods. Dryden's poem, for example, the addresses the exclusive crisis and the succession of the English throne, whereas modern satires may focus on the contemporary issues. Like Dryden's poem was about the, like we can say, political and corruptions during that time, and they are indirect. But whereas when we see in the modern perspective, they are very direct, like using the characters' names and all. Yes, when we go to the conclusion, we'll see that Jonathan Swift, Gulliver's Travels, and the 20th century, George Orwell's Animal Farm. These are some of the examples from different centuries, and one also the example from the modern times, that is Stewart. Yes, I forgot the name. So yes, this example from different centuries and demonstrate how political satires has been used to comment on political, social, and cultural issues throughout the history. Yes, these are my references, and thank you. If anyone have any questions, can ask.
YouTube Shorts.
So, Unnati, my question is, in what ways does George Orwell's Animal Farm differ from Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel in its use of allegory as a satirical device?
Okay, Animal Farm, right? Absalom and Achitophel mostly deals with the satirical devices, satirical themes like corruption and environmentalist and all. But when we go to the animal farm, they have totalitarianism and we can say Russian Revolution in their works. So we can see that there's a difference between their works, satirical. Yes.
My question is compare Gulliver's Travels with your topic in terms to political satire.
Gulliver's.
My question is compare Gulliver's Travels with your topic in terms to political satire.
Okay. As I mentioned, um, yes, Absalom and Achitophel deals with another like different from Gulliver's Travel, where Gulliver's Travel deals with the imaginative works, like their landscape is shown in an imaginative way, and the characters are being satirized there also, but there we can see much imaginative works, and yes, it do carry. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Yasraj Soda. Today, I am going to discuss about Ricky Ball, the modern novel. First of all, we consider the title, the comparing the character of Wilmore from the play The Rover with the Ricky Ball from a movie from 2011, Ladies versus Ricky Baum. So Ricky Baum is the character from the Ricky Baum, and the modern Rover means the Rover, which is play written by. So we are comparing both of the characters from the play and the movie. These are my this is my personal informations. Yeah. So first of all, let's see about the movie. The movie full name is Ladies vs. Ricky Ball. Directed by Manish Shah, produced by Aditya Chopra, starring Ranveer Singh, Anushka Sharma, Deepanita Sharma, Aditi Sharma, Parinde Chopra. Story was written by Aditya Chopra. Release date 9th December 2011. Running time 140 minutes. Country India, and the language it was released in Hindi. The second, we comparing the character from The Rover, which is a play, restoration comedy we can consider. Subtitle is also the Benist Cavaliers, written by Aphra Behn. Date premiered first. It was played in 24th March 1677. Premiered at Duke's Theatre, Dorset Gardens, London. And the setting we find in the play Carnival Time in Naples, Italy. Now, first of all, we find the characteristic of the Wilmore, which is the major character, which is the title is given, the Rover. So, what type of characteristic we find in the character Wilmore? He's flirtatious. In the play, we find he is flirting with the Angelica and the Helena. Whenever he finds out the female character. So in both of the, he is interested in both of the character, and he flirt with him. Even when the Angelica is the prostitute, and see, he starts fighting at first place, and then he is trying to convince her to be with her. Witty, we find witty language he use. He has really good intellect. He is also the, as we know, the captain. So we find that he uses very witty language. He has a very good intellect to pursue a woman, to how to cheat the woman, or how to make them feel that whatever is being said, it is true. So we find that quality in the Wilmore. Independent, he is independent, as we know. He is in the carnival in the Italy, so he is enjoying himself, and he does not have any responsibility, and he is independent in a way. He is not like in one woman, so he just changes himself into whatever the girl he likes. Inner conflict, we find in him. Even he is this flirtatious and witty, independent, but still he is like confused to what girl he wants to be with. In the Helena, in the Angelica's character, he is moving one from the another girl. So we find that inner conflict in the character of Wilmore. Intense emotion, we find he is really emotional. When he talks, when he feels, he expresses himself in front of the girls. In the Angelica's case, in the Helena's case, we find he is really emotional. He really feels in love, or like charmed by the girl's beauty very easily. So we find that emotion, and some of the way we also find he is uh, real emotion. Rebel at heart, he is rebellious at heart. He is not sticking to one girl. He doesn't care about any other person's feelings. So he moves one girl to another. And the character of Ricky Baum, we find in the movie Ladies with Ricky Baum, charming conman. He is pursuing the woman for their money. So he is a conman. He is fashion forward. Whenever the girls find out that the whatever girls like, so his attire, it would be like similar to what girls like. Growth and redemption, throughout the movie we find he grow in the character. He develops some of the morality and redemption in the movie. He is resourceful. He has the different types of knowledge of religion and culture. That's how he can match with the different types of girls and different types of cultural background that girls has. So we find that he's sly. He's like the language he uses. He is very intellectual person. We find in the same way in the Wilmore also. He's sensitive. Find first of all, when we watching the movie, he is not at all sensitive. But when he falls in love with the major character, then he is like being in such a way. Now we are comparing the major character, what type of quality we find both of the characters, and how they use in the play in also in the movie. The charm, Wilmore is charming and flirty. As we know, he flirts with the different types of women, even with the Helena and Angelica. Ricky Ball, charming and suave. He tries to get something from a woman. He is like using that charming quality to pursue that money. Intelligence we find in the both of the characters, quick-witted and sarcastic. Some of the dialogues we find that Wilmore is sarcastic. He used sarcasm in his language. Smart, street smart and resourceful. Motive, we find how they use this quality, pleasure and concept. In Wilmore, he just want to be with the girl whom he likes. And in Ricky Baum, we find only the rich woman, because he is doing such activities for money. So we find that outcome, what in the end they get first of all, in Wilmore ends up engaging with Helena. In the inner conflict ends with the play, and he is engaged with Helena. And Ricky Ball is also got caught because he wanted to be caught and humbled by the victims. Whatever the money he has given from the different girls, he returned them. In the conclusion, we find the different cultures, same archetype. We find that it is like the play, it is written in the 17th century, in the movie in the 21st century. Still, we find same archetype, same types of character, the witty language and that thing. Intricate character studies, we also find such characters, and we can be more careful about the character who is cunning and who is deceitful for who tries to get something from ourselves. Food for thought, as we know that this both of the pieces of art is written because of art for art's sake. It is not for us for the life's sake. So it is like both of the characters should be taken as like a funny character, not it should be not included in real life. That's all from my side. These are the references. You can find further information in that. Thank you. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Yes, Yash. How has Ricky Ball's comedy influenced the entertainment industry?
Okay. As we know, Ricky Baum is the comedy, and we find that it is it is, as we discussed, the art for the art's sake. And in the Bollywood, it is like average movie as we see. And the Bollywood sometimes these type of movies are mad, and when they go, we don't know. But so we can't find that in entertainment industry the movie has done a really good matter. But in such way, we find such influence we find in such type of movies in the Bollywood also. So yeah.
So Yash Raj, what future developments or improvements can be expected in Ricky Bars or similar modern rovers?
Okay, Trupti. Future development or improvements we can't expect from the such characters, but in the play, in the movie, also find they changes, and they change and they do certain things that we can trust them. But some of the person, as we know, it is the play, and it is like the we find the imagination is there. But in real life, the person, there are very less possibility for a person to change, especially for like the person like this Ricky Bal, who is using his wit and language for cunning the money. So there is like less improvements. We can't expect that much improvement from them. But still, if the people get such a environment, then definitely they would change. So there are also bright side are also there, which is shown in the movie as well as in the play also. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that was the last presentation of the day, and a quick overview. You can also watch the last part of today morning 2 sessions, last 10 minutes. So you can get some learning from that. So I don't repeat what was said in the morning 2 sessions, morning and afternoon. As I told, KHUSHI and KINJAL need to work hard still to improve. Nanda presented very well. Death be not proud. Also, you cited Bhagavad Gita's reference, and it also was cited well. Source also. Pallavi's also was good on supernatural elements on Macbeth. It was also well presented. PRIYANSHIBA presented well, but you also cited this summary book. So don't cite study material sites. That is what from the morning we are telling again and again to everybody. RESHMA also was good on symbols in the Rover. RIYA presented well on Aristotelian concept in this Macbeth's play, play by Shakespeare. SHRUTI also still you are not able to give proper answers. So you also need to see that on extempore you can give the answers also. TRUPTI also presented well on Rover and different roles, and things were quite well cited also in that. A few of you, so far citation is concerned, still you have to see how in text and at the end of the text that matching should happen. If that happens, then you get full score. And those who have completed that I think in the afternoon or morning, we suggested that then you have to cite the name of the people. For example, if you are citing a film, then you have to say that as in so-and-so film directed by so-and-so person, these things are coming. So with the name of director, you talk about films. When you talk about articles, then so and so writer in so and so article has made this argument. That way you bring those people, their names, their name of the article also when you speak also. Not only putting in a bracket is necessary. Many of you are not even putting in the bracket also. So you need to raise yourself to that level. Those who are at that level, they need to raise at another level. That how you use the names of those people when you speak. If you have not written on the slide orally, you can speak about the names and other things. Unnati also presented well a comparison of different political satires, quite well presented also. Yashraj also did well, final one. And also last slide, concluding slide also gives that what is the outcome of comparison. So that was a good one, that if the cultures are different, still there are similar archetypes which are found. So that gives sense of completeness to what we are comparing, or at the end of comparison, what we are getting. That is very important. Otherwise, many presenters only put that this is here, this is there. But what is the outcome of that comparison? That is not presented by everybody. In his slide, that was presented. That was good to see that it gives a sense of completeness to entire presentation. Okay, so this was good and fine. A few messages that I have put in the WhatsApp group. See that I don't have to give a reminder in this batch for either evaluation, self and peer evaluation, and then timestamps also. That also you should complete. And by tomorrow, I hope we will see that profile pictures and everything is up to the mark, up to the dignity of MA student, so that people may see that these are the presentations going on in Maharaja Krishna Kumar Singh Ji Bhavnagar University, and all students are very professional. They have a dignity of being a student of university. That should be reflected from our digital avatars also. Okay, we end our session here.